Okay, so in this video we're gonna do a elbow hyperextension tape job. And so the first thing we're gonna do, I have Power Flex, but normally you'd want 2-inch conform. I also have 2-inch Tenoplast and some 1.5-inch white tape. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my conform type tape, and I'm gonna have my person flex their elbow to about somewhere between 30 and 60 degrees. We don't want them right there at 90. We also don't want them straight. We want them kind of in a nice middle area. And so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go right around here at the middle of the forearm. I'm just gonna go around a couple times to apply an anchor. Now, like I said earlier, if I had conform, this would normally be conform. And then I'm also gonna apply an anchor up here just above the biceps muscle belly. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my white tape and we're gonna make a fan with it. It's gonna kind of act like a check rein. And so to start that, I'm gonna measure about the distance between these two anchors, maybe a little bit longer. And that's how long I'm gonna have my fan. That's how long I'm gonna start my fan. Okay, and so I'm gonna put one strip. We're just gonna kind of fan these strips out. You can do 3, you can do 5, you can double layer them, however you prefer, or however much support you think you're gonna need. I'm probably gonna do a 5, and then maybe an extra 1, maybe double layer just the middle. Oh, no. Put one more strip over here. And then I'll double it right here in the middle, just to kind of help hold them all down. And then to pick it up, you're gonna find the very first strip that you put down. You're just gonna pick it up. I'm gonna turn it over, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little strip and put it right here over the middle and kind of wrap it around just to hold this fan together. Now I'm gonna have my athlete hold her arm back in that 30 to 60-ish degrees, and I'm gonna take the middle of this fan and I'm gonna have it right over the antecubital space, over the inside of the elbow, and just kind of wrap those right there around the anchors. Now I'm gonna take my 2-inch Tenoplast and I'm gonna pull out a decent amount of tension on it. And I'm gonna start down here on this anchor, and I wanna go diagonal. I'm gonna put some hyperextension strips here over the elbow and come right back here around. And then this is, if your athlete wants to, they could cut this, but you're gonna cut your Tenoplast right there. You make sure there's a good little bit of tension. And then you're gonna go up the other way. Now to help keep a little bit to lower the amount of compression, you might not want the ends of these to come all the way together. You can see I'm leaving it open just a little bit there on the top. Those are kind of uneven. but here on the bottom I didn't. But you could leave both of those a little bit separated to ensure a little bit better, or a little less restriction, a little better blood flow. Now I'm going to layer this on up just a little bit. You're going to want to put 2 to 4 for each side. So you could end up with a pretty bulky tape job here if you're not careful. Then we're going to put one more. And these strips and that fan strip are the main functional strips that are going to be resisting all of that hyperextension. I'm going to want to pull that on. And then we're going to take our conform, which again I have PowerFlex, and we're going to start at the top. We're just going to layer, we're just going to close with a bunch of circulars. Just close all this in. You don't really want much tension because this is not the part of the tape that's going to be doing all the work, offering all the support. We're going to put a couple figure eights in here though. Put a couple. Again, I'm pulling. Now on these you might be able to put a little bit more tension, but for the rest of it we'll just be laying it on. Gonna pull it out and just lay it on. Again, you would normally want about 2-inch, maybe even 3-inch conform or PowerFlex type tape for this. Just to make sure, or just to be able to cover it a little bit quicker, so you're not having to go around quite so many times. And then as always, we're going to close the end of that with 1 or 2 strips of white tape. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to mold, just like always, and we're going to check for hyperextension. And it looks like we probably did a pretty good job of limiting that hyperextension of that elbow. And that is a elbow hyperextension taping.